All right, and welcome back. So today we are going to be reviewing how we write linear equations that are involving slope. And we are going to be talking about slope-intercept form. So without further ado, let's begin. So let's write a linear equation in slope-intercept form that has a slope of 4 and a y-intercept of 3. Well, let's quickly remember that slope-intercept form, let me write it in red for you, is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is the y-intercept. Right? Y-intercept is where our line, when on a graph, is going to hit that y-axis. So within this problem, we are given the slope and we are given the y-intercept. Well, it says we have a slope of 4 and a y-intercept of 3. So all we're going to do, we're going to start out with y equals mx plus b. We're going to start with slope-intercept form, and we're going to substitute in for our m and our b. So our slope of 4, so 4x plus 3. That's it. Notice how we have the x and y are still visible within our equation because the x and y represents a coordinate point. And all we did was substitute the value of m, which is our slope, for 4, and substitute the b, which is the y-intercept, for the value of 3. Awesome. Let's review the steps that we have been talking about in previous classes about how to write in slope-intercept form if given the slope and a point. Well, first thing we're going to do is substitute the slope into the equation y equals mx plus b. Then we're going to use the point x comma y by substituting into slope-intercept form to solve for b. And lastly, we're going to write as slope-intercept form in order for us to graph. These are some notes that we should have in our notebook, so please make sure you have them. If not, you should be copying them down now. But let's go through an example of how we're going to use these steps to help us write slope-intercept form when we're given the slope and a point. So in this example that you should be jotting down as we go through together is we're going to write a linear equation in slope-intercept form with a slope of 5 that contains the point 2 comma negative 3. The first thing we do, if we look back at our steps, we're going to start out with slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We're going to substitute the slope, which is 5, for our m. 2 is going to be for our x, and negative 3 is going to be our y. So as we replace all of these values, all these variables with the numeric values, y was negative 3 is equal to our m, which is our slope of 5, times the x value, which is 2, plus b. And now we're going to solve for b. Well, we can simplify 5 times 2. So we get 10 plus b. We want to isolate b, so we're going to subtract 10 on both sides. Therefore, we get that negative 13 is equal to b. And that's fantastic, right? But we're not done yet. We have to write in slope-intercept form. So we're going to take all of this, rewrite slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And now we know in slope-intercept form, we need the slope and we need the y-intercept. So it's going to turn out to y is equal to 5, because that's our slope, times x, minus 13, which is our y-intercept. Let me adjust that color. There we go. That's much better. So our final answer is y equals 5x minus 13. We substitute in the slope, which is m. We substituted in the x and the y, and then we found the b value. From there, we then rewrote everything as slope-intercept form, substituting in the value of our slope and the y-intercept. Awesome. But now let's again review how to write in slope-intercept form if you're given 2 points. Again, these should be notes that you already have in your notebook, but if you don't, you should be copying them down now. So when you are writing in slope-intercept form given 2 points, it's slightly tweaked of the rules that we just used. when given the slope and a point. The first thing you have to do is calculate the slope and substitute the slope into the equation y equals mx plus b. In the previous example, we were given the slope. We had the value of our slope. But right now we're going to be having 2 points, and we know we can calculate the slope between 2 points. So we're going to first have to calculate the slope. Then we're going to choose a point, x comma y, by substituting into slope-intercept form to then solve for b. And then, just as before, we're going to write a slope-intercept form in order for us to graph. So again, we're going to be given 2 coordinate points. Both of these coordinate points are on the line. We're going to find the slope between those 2 points. Now we have the slope and a point, but really we have 2 points. So we just need to choose one of the points. It doesn't matter which point we choose, so long as we choose one of them, because both of those points are on the line and they have the same slope because it's the slope of the line, and those points are on the line. So let's go through an example. You should be copying this down as we are going through. We're going to write a linear equation slope-intercept form that contains the points 1, 5 and 3, -1. So remember, we have to find the slope between these 2 points. So our slope is m, is the change in y divided by the change in x. So let's identify what our x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2s are. So my first coordinate point is going to be x sub 1, y sub 1. Second coordinate point will be x sub 2, y sub 2. Now we're going to replace these numbers into our slope formula. Well, our y sub 2 is -1. Our y sub 1 is 5. Our x sub 2 is 3. Our x sub 1 is 1. And now we're going to simplify. In the numerator, -1 minus 5 is -6. In the denominator, 3 minus 1 is 2. And we can simplify -6 divided by 2. We know that as -3. Therefore, our slope is -3. So now we have the slope, and we just need to choose a point. It doesn't matter which one you use. It's going to end up being the same exact equation. So for all intents and purposes, let's just choose this first coordinate point, 1, 5. Those are both positive numbers, so let's try to keep things positive, right? We're going to go into slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We're going to replace our slope value, which we just calculated as -3. We're going to replace the x and the y values of 1 and 5. So the y is 5. So we have 5 is equal to our slope value, which is -3, times our x value, which is 1, plus b. And now we're going to simplify. Well, -3 times 1 is -3, plus b. We want to isolate that b, so we have to add 3. Hey, look at that. I just rhymed. I'm a poet, and you didn't even know it. So we get +8 is equal to b. But we aren't done yet because we have to bring it all together. We have to write the linear equation. That is what we're being asked, is to write the linear equation. We have the components, but we need to bring it all together. So we know we have slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. Therefore, our slope is -3x plus our y-intercept of 8. Awesome job, folks. Keep up the great work. Make sure you have these notes down. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you soon.